Hello, and welcome back to Beyond the Plot podcast. I'm your host, Lisa, and today I'm thrilled to introduce our next guest, American author Olivia Jackson. Olivia is the brilliant mind behind Hunter's Treasure and Digging Dr. Jones, two gripping adventures that showcase her talent for immersive worlds, rich characters, and edge-of-your-seat storytelling. In this episode, we explore the inspiration behind her books, her creative process, and the stories that shaped her journey as a writer. If you love deep dive conversations with the authors behind your favorite reads, make sure you hit the subscribe button right now and share these with your friends, families, colleagues, so I can keep bringing you these amazing author guest interviews. Anyway, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Hello, Olivia. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm very excited.
You're welcome. I'm excited to have you. Before we step into it, though, let's give yourself a brief introduction to all the listeners out there.
I'm Olivia Jackson. I wrote 2 action-adventure rom-coms, and one came out in May, and the second one came out this February, a week ago. And I live in Atlanta, Georgia, and originally I'm from Russia, but I lived in the United States for close to 30 years. So my English is not perfect, and the articles A and V, my kryptonite. I don't really know how to use them. I just kind of threw them randomly, and if I use them correctly, great. If not, well. And let's see. I hope to keep writing books, and they're probably gonna be romance. I don't know if I'm gonna keep going with action adventure because I don't know how much I can torture my poor characters. But it's most likely gonna be something to do with some puzzle solving. I can't get away from that. Like I'm writing right now, next book, and there's the puzzles there, and it just happens like that. So.
Crazy, isn't it? And yeah, your latest book came out about a week ago. What's it been like for you? Because I've been following you on Instagram. You've had obviously book tours and a lot of activity around kind of the release. How's it felt, another book being out there?
It feels great. It's my second book, and to me, it feels like it's my debut book because when my first book came out, the way it was, I guess, I don't know why, but in United States, its first was not available in the stores probably for first 3 months. So I couldn't have book events or go on book tour. The books were available to buy online, but bookstores were not even able to get them to put them on the bookshelves. While like in United Kingdom, it was available there, but it's quite pricey to fly to London and have a little celebration. So I stayed here, and with the second book, it's different. It's available in the bookstores, like indie bookstores and Barnes and Nobles. The friend of mine, I was at the Atlanta romance bookstore, festival, Laviao, and the friend of mine texted me a picture of my books being on the table in Barnes and Noble. And of course, I cried while I was listening to the authors talking in the panel. And the friend of mine who was with me caught me crying on her camera. And I said, once this panel is over, I know we have like 3 or 4 hours to go. I'm going to drive to that Barnes and Noble because I want to see my books. So I driven there and I saw them, and bookseller came out and allowed me to sign them, and they put the stickers that it's signed.
That's nice.
It was like surreal, and I had a book launch with a bookstore I've been going probably for, I don't know, 18 years. We moved a little bit from the store, but I still went there and told them about my book, and they offered to have a book lunch, like a party on Valentine's Day. So we organized that, and people actually show up besides my parents and my husband. So that was nice. And I also reached out to a few bookstores in the different cities, like Savannah and Jacksonville, Florida, because they're like kind of close together, and asked them if they would not mind having book event, and they agreed. and it was fantastic. A very I was lucky to have Lauren Connolly to be my partner in conversation, and she didn't mind driving to Savannah because she lives in Asheville, North Carolina. So we met in Savannah, had a van, and then we driven together to Jacksonville and stayed together and had a van. So not only I got to get like just we hang
Mm.
out, got to know her even more, and she's a lovely, lovely person. She's just created fun games and questions for this event. So it's was incredible, and I'm glad I done that. And I have to say I have so much more respect for authors who do like like every day they fly to a different city
Yes. Mm.
for a week or for 2 weeks, because I just driven to few cities
Mm.
and I'm quite tired,
Yeah.
and I don't know how they do it. They probably wake up in some city, they don't even know which city they just flew in, and
Yes.
it's just wow. So, I hope
Yeah.
I'll do it one day too, like a big tour,
Yeah.
and but yeah, it was like a little toe dipping in the water to find out how it feels, and it feels incredible, a little bit tiring, a little bit expensive, but it's like
It's worth it.
meeting readers,
Mm.
it's just I don't know, I wanna be friends with all those people who came, and I was like, I can't ask them, "Hey, can we be friends when I come to the city again? Can we just hang out?" Because 'Cause they're all such a lovely people
Mm.
and just fun and great energy, and I only been to romance book events.
Yeah.
I don't know how other book events are and how other readers, but romance readers, they're just incredible. They just I don't know, they're fun, great, crowd to hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah, I have heard that, and a few of the authors that I've had on the podcast who have been based in the UK have done some tours in uh, America, and they said they're literally like, yeah, one place that one day, then straight on a plane to the next place, and then it's like a week, but then it's like a whirlwind. But I think they just enjoy, like you said, it's tiring, but it's like so worthwhile because they get to meet their readers, and that just brings them so much joy to kind of see who is out there reading their books and who follow them and who's interested in their stories and the genre. And I think the author community is amazing. I think the reader community is amazing. And I think in America it's so much bigger, because I think it's starting to get bigger in the UK and Australia in terms of like book clubs, but like America seems like they have it on another level, right? People who have book clubs, and so when you do those events, they tend to be much bigger. But question, because you mentioned that when you had your debut came out in America, they don't typically put it into bookstores first of all for at least the first 3 months. What's the
No,
reason for that?
so my publisher is HarperCollins UK,
Yeah,
and it's my understanding, and this is just my understanding, that first time it was print on demand book,
okay,
and I didn't know why. I don't know why it's like was 3 months.
yeah,
Was it an error or was it specific 3 months to maybe a trial test? I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah,
And if I think I had an American publisher that probably can do the same thing, the print on demand for a while and then print the books to put them in the bookstores.
yeah,
Is however the contract is written.
yeah,
So when I was in Barnes& and Noble, probably I'll say in October of last year, and I was looking for one book, and then I thought, well, I might as well kind of ask about my book.
yeah,
And they checked my first book and they said they cannot order it to put it on a bookshelf. But then she said, but I see your second book is coming out in February, and we already have some books on order to stock in the bookstore. So that was actually a surprise for me. I was like, oh,
yeah.
well, that's cool. And she joked and she said, you must have passed some test. I was like, I didn't know I was taking a test, but I'm glad I passed it.
Oh, well, that's nice though. And I'm interested then around this, and maybe some of the listeners are around, you're based in America, you've got a UK publisher. How did that come about? Like when you were submitting or querying, um, did you have like a list of publishers or agents that you were going to, and then it kind of went from there?
So my agent, I have an excellent agent, and she made a list of for the first round, and she picked the publishers that she wanted to submit first,
Hmm.
like I guess our first strongest, most wanted. And as we were coming like to the last few that was holding our book and not giving us answer, we created the second list.
Hmm.
And then we had to wait for the holidays to pass because you don't really go on submission in the middle of December because nobody really gonna reply to you because they're all busy with
Yes.
family and holidays.
Hmm.
So we waited for the first week in January. And then in our second list of imprints, one of them was One More Chapter, which is imprint with HarperCollins UK. And they're the one who quite quickly responded back and said that they want to take the book to acquisitions. So, and then after that, you know, few
Amazing.
weeks and they offered, and then few more weeks, and then a few more months, and then you finally have a written contract.
Amazing. How did that feel for you when you got that written contract and the offer through?
It happened 2 days before my birthday and 1 day before my agent's birthday, so that was quite exciting. It was very good present.
Yes. It was meant to be, meant to happen at that time to give you both a birthday present.
I guess so.
Um, so let's take it back a bit then. When did your whole writing journey begin? Like, what did that look like for you?
Um, I wanted to become a writer probably at age 12 or whenever I was, I think, in the 6th or 7th grade, and I was in geography class, and I had a fantastic geography teacher who would like tell the stories in a very interesting for children way. And
Mhm.
we were studying Africa at that time, and she was talking about baobab tree. And I just got fascinated with that tree. And of course, the rest of whatever the teacher was saying, I missed because in my head was suddenly I started writing a adventure story about the friends who were in Africa and they somehow, you know, got missing and they had to survive. And I came home and I started writing comics. It started with a comics type of
Mhm.
book because I also like to draw. And then I guess I wrote a few more stories, and we got Disney in Russia. So I got a lot of princesses and stuff, drawings in their stories. I guess it's a fan fiction, but it was based on the princesses. And then I wrote a few more stories. And when I was about to get ready to figure out what I want to do for college, and I knew I was coming to the United States. I wanted to apply for, I think, literature and journalism or something. And because I want to be a writer, and my parents said, no, you have to pick a profession that would actually put the roof over your head and put the food on your table. You cannot be an author. So pick a different profession. So I picked software engineering, and yes, they were right. And of course, the writing was forgotten. And I think I was 34 years
Mhm.
old when we were with my husband in Germany, and we were taking a tour of this beautiful castle, and it was in German, and neither of us speaks German. So of course my head started to make up stuff as I was looking at the beautiful rooms, and there was a kind of library hallway with this ornate tall bookcases. And out of nowhere, I thought like, well, what is if there's like something that you can use to open it, and there's like a hidden passage,
Mhm.
and like, and there's a woman, and she's gonna walk in there, and then like what? And then like things start like turning in my head. We came home, And I had the whole plot in my head. I sit down and I started writing in the evenings. My kids were very little at that time. So, like, once everybody in bed, I'll sit a couple hours and just type out the story. And I end up writing 140,000 romance.
Wow.
Yeah. And then my friend read it. She fixed my English to as much as she could.
Yeah.
And said it's fantastic. I was like, yes. I booked the book. I bought a book, How to Find an Agent.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote the query letter and I started sending it out to the agents and quickly start getting no's. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I know 140 contemporary romance. That was right away. They looked at
Big.
that and said, no, thank you. And it was very sad, but you have to be stubborn and keep
Mm,
persistence. One of the agents, I don't know who it was because it was 1918 or 1990. It was a long time ago. Uh, she had synopsis, one of part of her request. And I guess
mm-hmm.
she read my synopsis and she emailed me with rejection. She said, you have two books in one, like
Oh,
separate them. I separated, made it shorter,
yeah.
and queered it again. Meanwhile, I joined Atlanta Writers Club and start talking to other authors. And I found out so much more about writing world. I
Mhm.
joined a critique group
Yeah.
that was closest to me and worked by hours when my kids were at school.
Mhm.
And it was like different genres. Like I was only one who was writing romance, and I was so scared to go there first time. I asked my father-in-law to come with me just for bravery.
Yeah.
And we were meeting in the library, but still I was scared of everything, of meeting new people, and I didn't know if it was real, and I was woman by myself. Anyway, I dragged the poor man with me. And we had fun because he's also a writer.
Okay.
And from there, I was brave enough to come back to the library by myself. But I made friends. I could continue learning more. I revised my book. I start submitting it again. I changed the name of it too because somebody told me it sounded like UFO or something, book, not romance. And I got few full requests, but the querying is a very long process. It could take up to
Mm,
a year
yeah.
before you finally give up. I started writing another book, and then I wrote that book. I already changed groups because I've realized that while everybody is nice and everybody has a great input, they did not understand romance.
Mm,
So I was not getting a feedback that would, I guess, mold romance to like mold my book in a shape that romance writers will like.
mhm.
And I switched to a different group, and this was now during COVID. So it was online, so I really found people all over the United States,
Mhm.
and we worked on my second book, and I finished working on it. I submitted it to three different award programs just so I can get feedback from published authors because they were judges. And I won. The book won two first places and one third place, which gave me great boost of confidence. I was like, oh my God, I can like actually write something that people think is good. And one of the judges was so nice. She just left great comments in her notes. And I reached out back to the program and I said, just tell her thank you. And if she wants to read it and she has nothing better to do, I'm more than happy to send her the whole manuscript.
Yeah.
And she replied back. She said, sure, it will take her some time because she's busy with her own books.
Mhm.
And she's, under the contract to fulfill these obligations, but she will read it. And she did. And she sent me a long letter with everything I've done right and everything I've done wrong.
Mhm.
And with her feedback, I think she truly put me on a correct way how to write romance.
Mm-hmm.
She gave me a list of books to read and how she would reshape this book. So I rewrote that book again because it was very dark suspense romance, and you either have to go this way or that way. She said you started out fluffy and then it just became something else,
Yeah.
and many, many other things that she said. So I started writing that book again. And then I got to the point where you rewritten it so many times, you almost like wish your characters would just die. Just so I quit rewriting that book, and I went back to my first novel,
Mm-hmm.
and I started rewriting it. And one of the lines in it was of my main character telling another character a book that she's writing. So I just came up with 3 lines of the pitch.
Yeah.
And one of the critique partners, they highlighted that and they said, this book sounds actually much more interesting than this book. Why don't you write that?
Yeah.
And my feelings were not hurt because when they said that, I think almost the same day, or maybe over a few days, the plot just unraveled in my head and the characters came to me fully developed. Like I knew, not fully developed, but yeah, like I knew everything about them that I needed to know. And this is how my first published book happened. And I wrote it like within 3 months. I wrote
Wow.
it. And then I found new critique partners, like fantastic critique partners. And we worked on that for 6 months on that
Mm-hmm.
book before I went querying. And meanwhile, I saw my agent. At that time, she was not my agent on I think it was on Twitter. And she said she's looking for action adventure set like in the mountains or something. I was like, well, I'll try her. I never heard of this agent, but I'll try her. And I sent her Hunter's Treasure and I said, it's not in the mountains, but it's on a tropical island. Would you read it? And she said, sure. So I sent it to her. She requested full manuscript really quickly. She read it within a few days and she rejected me
Okay.
with the nicest rejection ever. And I told myself, once I finish my third book, she will be my goal to query her and hopefully she will request it. And she did. And she read it over she didn't read it over 3 months. Helen is excellent. She was one of those agents who would say, from March till middle of April, I'll be reading suspense and horror.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
She is not reading your book right now. And then she'll say, from ta-da, ta-da, I'll be reading fantasy romance. So I knew she's not ignoring me or, sitting on, like she was sitting on my book, but at least I knew because it's not was time for her to read contemporary romance.
Mm-hmm.
And then when it was the week when she was reading contemporary romance, oh my God, I was refreshing my email like every minute to see if there's updates. And yeah, we were on vacation in Florida in Jacksonville and she DM'd me and she said, can we set up the call?
Wow.
It was a few days after my birthday and I made like loops around hotel looking for better reception. And yeah, we got on the call and she said, before we even start talking, she said, are you willing to rewrite third act? I said, I'll do anything. Truly.
Tell me. Tell me what you want.
And she said, excellent. And now let's talk. So we talked like for an hour. And honestly, I knew that my third act was weak.
Mm-hmm.
And she called me out on that. But at least she loved it enough, my whole book. And she had a vision how to fix it
Mm.
that, she gave me a chance. And I'll be forever grateful for her for doing that. And yeah, and we signed and then she sent me a long letter saying everything I've done right and wrong. I pout for a couple of days, and then I sit down and rewrote from middle to the end. And then the rest is the history. We went on submission a couple months later, and I already told you about my submission. It was
Yeah.
5 months, and here we are.
It's crazy because I mean, you've been on a journey, right? And like perseverance, like just you just kept going because a lot of people would give up, right? But you've gone and honed your skill and rewrote your book many times, listened to kind of that feedback because critiquing is quite hard. Like, I mean, if you've ever critiqued books, like, you're giving your honest opinion, but you also don't. I don't know. I think a lot of authors want to have like just bear it all, just tell me exactly what you love and what you don't, because that actually is going to help me in the long run. I think you have to develop quite a thick skin, right? And I think you've gone through that process enough. Probably now you've got an extremely thick skin that you take any feedback as, okay, let me listen to that and then I can um, implement it into my work, which ultimately got you the goal of getting an agent and then being published, right? But it sounds like it took a number of years for you to get to that point.
It definitely did, but it's also like while I was writing, I was just not writing them and like going to critique groups. I was studying, I was taking
Mm,
classes, I was listening to podcasts about
yeah.
writing, the shit that no one tells you about writing. I found them like I think in the beginning, like in December, not December, sorry, in January, February of 2021,
Mm,
and just fell in love with them. And to this day, I still listen to them. I mean, I've been published and I had already agent, but just love learning.
yeah.
And I also the critique partners. Uh, the reason why I changed so many of them, it's some got busy and stopped critiquing. Some I just knew I was not aligning with
Mm,
them
yeah.
because it's just I was not getting what I needed from them. Some were just too nice, some were just too rude without any explanation. Like my most favorite example is in my first book, I think. There was a paragraph which I thought was beautifully written of the male character basically saying how much he likes this woman
Mm-hmm.
and how beautiful she is and blah 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 blah. And one of the critique partners highlighted, and she said, I threw up in my mouth reading this. Delete it.
No.
All right. I took that and used in Digging Dr. Jones.
Yeah.
And it's the most highlighted, I think, paragraph in the book. My editor loved it so much. They use it for marketing.
Wow.
And just when somebody throws up in their mouth, other people really likes it. So I stuck to my gut to say, I
Yes.
like it. I'm going to keep it.
Yes.
And I'm glad I did that. So that's the thing with critique partners is that they they should be honest,
Mm-hmm.
but they should be nice about it.
Yes. Yes.
Don't say you threw up the
No.
reading something.
No. No one wants to hear that comment.
Yeah. If you're going to say I hate that, give me the reasons why. If you
Yes.
say this doesn't work, possibly explain why. And
Yes.
then
Yeah.
for anybody out there who just starting this, the best rule is when you have, let's say, 5 critique partners that you trust,
Mm-hmm.
and majority of them did not find a problem with something, but 1 or 2 did. If your gut feeling says, I think it's okay, and majority said, yeah, it's okay, nobody had a problem with it, then it's probably not a problem because you cannot satisfy everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody gonna want something from your book differently a little bit. But like if everybody says there's something wrong with this scene, something wrong with this sentence, something wrong with this whole book,
Yes. Yeah.
then maybe you should look into it and say, what is actually wrong here? Yeah, but
Yeah.
if like one person says they throw up in there, mouth and you ignore them.
Just ignore it. Yeah, yeah, that's brilliant. So you went instantly and got a 2-book deal, correct? With HarperCollins?
I did.
Yeah.
But I
Um,
was lucky because I already had 2 similar books written.
yes, yeah. So what happens now? Obviously, you've just had your latest one be released. Obviously, you're riding kind of that wave at the moment of all the joyous things that comes with launching a second book and doing your book tours and um what happens now? Because are you writing your third book?
I'm writing my 3rd book. It's not coming easy, and my poor agent, I've been promising to her almost for a year. It's so when my 1st book came out, I got hit with, um, writer's block because I, silly me, would read the bad reviews. I read all of them, good and bad, and then there were some people who would, like, slide in my DMs and just tell me what they didn't like about my book,
Mm,
and that just kills creativity. It's like I didn't wanna write. It's like I felt fake, like so it took couple months for me to finally say, "Get over yourself, gotta write."
yeah,
And I started writing, and then I got busy with a little bit of editing. My 2nd book was my editor, which is wasn't a whole lot, and I got another wave of just worrying about that, what if people are not gonna like it? And then it's just I don't know, I never believed in, writer's block and the whole, what is it called? The imposter syndrome.
mm,
I thought it's usually what happens before you become published author. And
yes,
I had that, and I thought, "Pff, that such a thing does not exist." Oh, it does. It hits you really hard after you actually publish because one of the authors on one of the podcasts said, and it was a very great analogy, 'cause said, like, before when you don't have an agent or published book, you're just a fish, big fish in a pond. No, she said, "You're a fish in a pond, and then when you get an agent, you become a big fish in the pond."
yeah,
You look at me, I have an agent.
yes,
And she said, "Once you have a published book, all of a suddenly you're a small fish in a
in a big
big
pond.
ocean,
Yeah,
and everything becomes very scary." And I like that analogy. I wish I remember which author said that because it's pretty much true.
yeah.
And I'm working on it. I almost done. If my agent Helen is listening, I promise soon you'll have it in your
It's
inbox.
coming. So what will that look like? Will you have to go out to submission again? Or can you approach like HarperCollins and they'll review it first off?
So in my contract, they have the option clause.
Yeah.
So anything I write after these 2, I believe in adult romance,
Mm-hmm.
they get first dibs to read it.
Yeah.
And they have to say either yes or no. And then we either gonna go on submission or we're gonna stay with them.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
I think there's like some waiting period, maybe a month
Yeah. Okay.
for them to come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do need to hurry up and finish writing this book.
You mentioned that you're slightly going to change like kind of the location or the storyline a little bit. What are you kind of wanting to step more into now?
Um, I wanna take a step away from action adventure,
Hmm.
and I'm saying this right now, and, like, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow probably, like, with this great plot for action adventure book, and I'm just
Yeah.
gonna write that really quick. But, yeah, I, want to step away from action adventure and just write contemporary romance. But my 3rd book still has puzzles and still search for something hidden where you have to solve the puzzles, figure out where it's located. And this time I'm stepping away from tropical places because my 1st book is in Colombia, 2nd one is on fictional island in South Pacific. I can't say Pacific. Pacific. I had trouble saying it on Sunday too at the book event, but not far away from the Cook Islands.
Yeah.
And this time it's gonna be in a castle in England.
Wow,
So
nice.
and it will be probably in the winter, so it's gonna be colder. Because I
Yes.
like forced proximity, so I need my main characters kinda huddled together to keep them
Okay.
warmer.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, it's definitely cold in the UK at the moment. we've we've moved from the UK again back to Australia, and yeah, all my friends and family over there are saying how cold it's got, and it was freezing before we left. So yeah, I'm sure you can get some inspiration right now with everyone posting pictures because I think they had snow not so long ago as well.
Yeah.
Um, so where does your inspiration come from then? Where do where do you look to when it comes to your stories?
Let's see. One of the it could be random stuff. I don't know if I have it here or not. Used to have. I found a bracelet. We rented the car and I found this, I don't know what it is, a bracelet. It's just junky bracelet. But I had a little magnet, and that's how idea for Digging Dr. Jones came in, because she had a bracelet that she put on and didn't come off. And so that's was that. And Hunter's Treasure was a walk on the beach in Dominican Republic, and there was washed up log that turned in my head into the woman who was stuck on this deserted island, and I had to throw the hot man onto the island because otherwise she'll be very bored.
Yes, yeah.
And then, just thoughts start coming in. And the current book that I'm writing, um, I don't know where it came from. It was I saw a scene in my head of this couple with one small bed, and I know it was very cold outside, and they had this. I think it's called Napoleon. At least here, I think in the United States, it's called Napoleon or something. Iron. What is it called? Fireplace. I don't know. In my head, that's where they had to put the logs and light on fire and just huddle closer to it. And I was like, well, why are they there? And like, where are they? And just over the course of days, you keep thinking, and then you hear the music, and it's like, oh, well, what about this? Or the music could very well say, hey, this could be a cool scene, and there would be music in the background if it was a movie.
Yeah.
And then thoughts just start tumbling. And I don't know, it comes from a random places.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, well, I think that's the special part when you are creative, right? That you can just look at anything, like you said, a bracelet, and then your mind starts creating like these characters or this place or something that crafts a story. Like I think that's every author that I speak to, like creativity is embedded in them because otherwise you wouldn't be able to come up with these stories. So I think it doesn't matter where it comes from. It could just stem from one tiny little thing and then it can just go from there. You've obviously got to have a plot.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how, yeah, one tiny piece of like you said, jewelry then sparked that story for you. And I think that's such a beautiful thing with authors that they can do that and then it's putting it down on paper, right? Or put it on your laptop, for instance. Um, and I'm like, just going back a bit, because you said when you first got, that story and you wrote 140,000 words, how do you approach that? Like when you do your drafting, are you someone who just sits down and writes as much as you can? Or now that you're a little bit more established and you've had 2 books released, do you have set times that you tend to write? Do you give yourself a word count each day? What does that kind of look like for you?
I'm not a plotter and I'm not the pantser. I'm sort of in the middle.
Yeah.
I guess I'm planster. Planster, that's what they call it. You have a plan and you pants it. So I always know the beginning of the book and I
Yeah.
know the ending of the book. And I have main twists and scenes that should happen in the book.
Mm,
How I'm gonna get there? I have no clue. And I don't I try to have a schedule.
Mhm.
And every time I try to do the schedule, I never stick to it really because so I have elderly parents who don't
Yeah.
speak English. They live like a mile away from me, and I have to take them to the doctor. And lately they've been going to doctors quite often.
Yeah.
So even if I tell myself Tuesday and Thursday, this is my writing days, like nobody bother me from 9 o'clock till 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
I do not exist. I'm at work. But then, and then I plan other things on the other days, and then I have to schedule my parents' doctor appointment, and they will say it's available only like on Tuesday or Thursday. I cannot prioritize my writing over my parents, and I do it on that day, and then of course my other days already filled in with the other things,
Yeah.
and I think it's just excuses I make up for myself.
Yeah.
I could just tell myself, "Write when you can." How about that?
Yeah.
How about go back? Because I used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning
Mm.
so I can fit in hour before my kids
Yeah.
well, my kids will get up later, but before I have to start making lunch for school,
Yeah.
breakfast for them, and then drive them, and they were at that time, like, going in different schools at different times. By the time I drop off one and come back, I have to take then other one to another school. Now it's a little easier because 'cause they're teenagers, so
Yes.
one of them drives themselves, and then they'll come back and bring my daughter with him, so I got some free time there. So you see, I have no excuses. I can actually write whenever I can instead of sticking to schedule. How about my schedule should be from starting tomorrow, my schedule is I write when I can.
Yes. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what I should do.
That's your new goal. That's your 2026 goal for writing. Write when you
Yes,
can. It's good though, because I feel like sometimes you can put yourself under pressure of like, right, I'm going to sit down at this time and write, and your creative juices might not be flowing then. So you might just sit there and go, well, what am I writing? Like, so then, and I don't know about you, because I sometimes I just go off in a spiral. Like I'll sit here and I'll be like, I should be doing this, and then I'm thinking about something else, and then I'll get up and go and do something else, and I'll come back where an hour's gone. Like, and I had this dedicated time, and now it's gone. Like, but I think it's just yeah, always think about other kind of things that you could be doing as well. But
yeah. I learned one thing about maybe a year and a half ago. So I'm also, besides English, my second language, I'm dyslexic.
hmm
And oh gosh, I make so many mistakes that will drive me nuts later on. And I also often get stuck on a word that I don't know how to say it in English. I don't know how to say it in Russian. I become like, instead of bilingual, I'm like no lingo.
yeah,
And I'll sit there, I was like, well, what's the word? And I could not
yeah,
type it. And eventually I learned to, first of all, turn off the spell check.
yes,
So it will, because if I see that red line, I'll go back and try to fix it. And
okay, yeah,
so yeah, I know the red C will be open as soon as I turn the spell check on. And I also learned that I do not, if I cannot come up with a word,
hmm
I just leave it with TK in brackets, come
yeah,
back later.
yeah,
I used to do it only for um, description when I draft
hmm
or for dialogue, and he would say something funny here, and then I'll come back and fill in. But now I start forcing myself to do that even if I cannot think of the word.
hmm
It's like, TK, that's it. I'll come back to it later. And it helped me. It
yeah,
it definitely sped up my writing.
yeah. That's
Not
good.
sure if it speeds up my editing because there's a million of them.
But that's fine. Like that can I was speaking to an author the other week, and yeah, she was saying that like her grammar and her spelling isn't great, but actually it doesn't have to be great. That's why you have an editor. And then that's why, they can, make sure that's all double and triple checked before it goes into print. So it's just as
Yeah.
long as you can do the story and it's readable and people are actually going to be interested in the story, then you know
Yeah, it's just
Keep doing what you're doing.
my dyslexic brain just makes it extra fun for them to read
Can
it.
imagine.
Like, I was in one of the articles I wrote that what it does sometimes, I think of the word, but my fingers type a totally different word. And the best example I can give is I was describing the shoulder length hair,
Mm-hmm.
but I type in the underpit length. Yeah. And I think it was the person in agency who read it. She highlighted that word and just said, ew. Can we can we use a different word here? Like, why? Why would I type that in? And it was not highlighted because it was spelled correctly.
Yes, yeah. Maybe
And
your brain is like thinking like you're thinking one thing, but then it's just doing something completely
I
different.
don't know. I mean, the underbit here, shoulder length, it's similar
Yeah, it's
area.
in the same proximity. Yeah. Your brain it is working, it's thinking about it, but it's just spitting out something completely different.
Yeah.
But then you have these funny stories. So you
Yeah.
gotta, yeah. um, so I mean, you've kind of mentioned some challenges about imposter syndrome and writer's block and your dyslexia. I mean, if you could tell yourself one thing, like if you were to go back and tell yourself, you know, what you know now, would you do anything different?
If I go back all the way to the beginning, when I started writing my first book, I will tell myself first, buy all the books on the craft and
Yeah.
read them. Like, just educate yourself while you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Because I spent almost a year just writing a book, not even bothering to understand how to do it. I just thought, oh, you just write it,
Yeah.
and I knew there has to be dialogue and description and things happening and a happy ending. I knew that just from just reading romance. But reading is one thing, writing is a different.
Yeah.
So I will tell myself, take this big pile of books and read them. Because I don't know if there was that many podcasts that in 2018 or
No, I don't. I think they've definitely kind of increased, and there's a lot around, yeah, how to hone your skills on writing and people's journeys and stuff. But yeah, I think back in that era, I mean, no, I didn't know it was that long ago, but it was more in book form, wasn't it?
books and like I should have Googled, like I'm sure there was blogs because people
Yeah.
were blogging.
Yes.
I should have researched more, but I didn't. And I think I wasted a year or two. It's
Mm,
not really till I joined a book club,
yeah.
sorry, not book club, a writing club
Yeah.
that I learned, oh, there's so much more to writing a
Mhm.
book, putting
Yeah.
thoughts on the paper.
Yeah. Yeah. But now you know it, so it's you're
And
here, like living the dream.
yes, and this is because I went through this. I I'm part of the mentorship group
Yeah.
where um they assign a mentee to me. You can have two, one. I picked one,
Yeah.
and you just share. You teach them everything that took years for me to learn. You try
Yes.
to cram it in a short amount of time for them, and I'm all for like any authors out there who's starting out or been doing it for a couple years. If they have any questions, by all means, slide into my DMs, ask the question, email me. I'll be more than happy to share all the knowledge I have. And actually, I had like after one of my other podcast interviews, the very nice author, she asked a few questions, and I said, why don't we jump on a Zoom or Google Meet, whatever, and talk about it? Because it will be faster and better. And we did. And we talked for an hour and she asked all the questions. I gave all the answers. And so, yeah, I would like to pay it forward because I had some authors who helped me and I would like to help other authors so they will speed up to get to the
Yeah.
getting an agent or
Yeah.
published.
I love that because yeah, you're giving back to like the community, you're giving back to those aspiring or emerging authors that your piece of guidance or information could be the difference, right, between them being successful in submission and not. And so, yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing to do. Um, and I think it's just, yeah, paying it forward. So, um, so in terms of where people can find your book, then available obviously in America, Barnes and Noble. Any other major bookstores in America that you can access it?
I think Barnes and Noble has it on their shelves,
Yeah,
or you can buy it online. Other stores have them, I think, online only, like
yeah,
Target and Walmart and Book a Million. A lot of indie bookstores have them,
nice. Yeah,
and I encourage people to go to their local bookstores and pre-order, or not pre-order, order book there, because you
yes,
support your local bookstores. So
yes.
that would be great. And in United Kingdom, I think it's in Waterstones. I think both of my books, and I cannot speak for say on all indie bookstores, but some romance bookstores, they have them. They tag me in a picture,
I
so
know. Oh, that's
yeah, that's
beautiful.
pretty much available everywhere. If you live in Madrid, I know there's a English bookstore. They have a
Oh,
copy.
did it's crazy to think like, yeah, all the locations and then all your readers where they're located. So I think that's an amazing thing as well. Like they're not just in America, they're global, reading your book and yeah, sharing the love.
Somebody tagged me in a post. It was in Singapore. I got so excited. I was like, "Oh my god!" It was in the library. I was like, "This is amazing!"
That's crazy, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I always think like how like it's obviously to do with your publisher, but like God, like yeah, it's in a library in Singapore, like they've yeah, and someone's reading it. Yeah, wow. That's
Yeah,
great.
they can find anywhere. Yeah, both Digging Dr. Jones and Hunter's Treasure.
Brilliant. And then you're on social media, so Instagram, as a lot of authors are. Are you on Facebook, TikTok? Do you have your own? I know you have your own website because I've been on your website.
Um, I got a TikTok. Just, just I don't post anything there. I haven't braved yet to do TikToks. I'm gonna get there one day.
Yes.
I'm a, but I'm not at the age where I think I'm comfortable to do stuff. I don't know. Maybe not an age. I'm not. It's nothing to do with the age. It's just me. I can't put myself out there like that.
Yes.
Even though I think I should, and I think it could sell more books.
Yeah.
I haven't got there, and I don't think I can have a wine every day to make
To give
myself
you some
more.
encouragement.
But
Oh, yeah.
Facebook, I need to get on a Facebook because I took a publicity class, and I learned that there's a lot of romance readers
Yes.
for especially my kind of books out on the Facebook,
Ah,
and I need to get there and get more involved. So
yeah.
it's on my list to do.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of groups on Facebook that you can be a part of and you can promo on there as well.
Yes,
TikTok, yeah.
that's a
I
good
feel
one.
like TikTok, everyone I speak to, including myself, like it, it's a I don't know, it's a tough one to crack. Like I don't do anything I just actually just post the same content as I do on like Instagram, which probably doesn't land as well because like you said, a lot of it is doing more actions and I don't know, jumping on these like
Yeah.
trends, but it's quite hard to navigate. And like, one day your post will do really well, and the next day you'll have like hardly anyone review it, and you're like, okay, what's going on with the algorithm here? It's like they just want me to like. I think what happens is, yeah, you have to just constantly be on it and interacting with people, and then that's when they start bringing you more. But yeah, and following a lot of the trends that are out there.
Yeah, I don't have time for
It's
that.
a heavy load. Yeah, it's like a job in itself, just like doing TikTok. But you're just like everyone else. A lot of the authors I speak to, they Instagram is like their go-to.
So is mine. It's much easier, and I've been doing it
Yeah.
for a long time, so I know it better.
Yes.
Even though I just learned when I did my unboxing video, it was a very long video. I didn't know it was like 5 minutes. I apparently I talk a lot. And when I don't do any edits. It is what it is. Whatever I said, ugh, whatever.
Yeah.
I was uploading it and it says, because it's over 3 minutes, we're not going to show it to on followers. And I was
Yeah,
like, oh, well, I have to edit. And I spent like hour and a half
editing.
editing it to fit it under the 3 minutes. I was like, I could have been writing for hour and a half, but I couldn't
Literally.
reshoot unboxing video because I already
Yeah.
unboxed.
I did watch that and I saw that you sped it up a bit, like when you were undoing the box, which is quite good because you might not be talking as much at that point. But yeah, it is hard to fit it in sometimes. But yeah, hour and a half, it's the price you have to pay, isn't it, to get some content out there?
And I'm sure I'll get better if I do it every
Yes.
day.
Yes.
But it's just, again, it's like, there's so many things I want to do besides just editing the video.
Yeah.
If I knew that's what I'd be doing, I probably got a different degree than software engineering and be like marketing and video editing. But it is what it is.
I know. And it may have not led you to the path that you're in now. I always think that, like, you were supposed to do software engineering and then this came
True.
later.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yes. So I should not regret. I always try to not to think about the past. The past is the
Yeah.
past. That's what
Yeah.
it should be.
Yeah. Look to the future.
Exactly.
Well, I've absolutely loved chatting to you, Olivia. I think, yeah, you've got a really good story around like determination and perseverance. And I think hopefully anyone who is trying to get published out there will see that as like a confidence boost for them, that, okay, just keep going because all your hard work will pay off. But again, keep learning, keep honing your skills, and keep refining kind of what you're doing. And learning, joining some groups, etc. And I think for any authors who are out there, it's just another nice story that probably resonates with them as well, right? That they've been through the exact same journey as you, and it's kind of nice that even though you are published, it's just stop listening to the noise and get back to your creative side and do what you're, best at. So I'm wishing you all the success in 2026 and beyond. And I'm still going to follow you on Instagram, your story, and I'm excited to see kind of what is next to come for you. So I loved
Thank you.
having you on and hope you've enjoyed being here too.
Well, thank you so much. And maybe we can do it again when my other book
Yes.
comes out, and I'll have something else much more fun to tell you.
Yeah.
But this was great. Thank you so much for inviting me.
You're welcome anytime. Have a great day or evening,
Thank
should
you.
I say.
Yeah.
Evening.
Have a great day. Bye.